Hey everyone. So I was able to talk my wife into letting me get a new bike, so I picked up a Trek Top Fuel 9.7. This is the 2022-2023 model. For 2023, Trek didn't make any changes. And I'm going to do a quick bike check here with you, go through what this bike is spec'd with, and also compare it to the Trek Top Fuel 8 and the Top Fuel 9.8. Those are the models that are above and below this one. And for comparison, I'm going to stick with all the Shimano builds. The 9.8 you can also get with SRAM. When I ordered this bike, you did have the option for SRAM, but I went with Shimano, mainly because I really like Shimano brakes. I have all the tools, everything for bleeding them. Shimano uses mineral oil, which I really like. But I'll get back to the brakes here in just a bit. Alright, so the Top Fuel 9.7 here, it retails for $4,500. The 8, that one retails for $4,000, and the 9.8 is $6,550. All these bikes, they come with 120 millimeters of travel on the front and the rear. On this bike here, you are outfitted with a Fox Rhythm 34 fork and a Fox Performance float shock. The 8 and the 9.8 both have RockShox sit up front, with a slightly better model on the 9.8, but they do have the same rear shock, RockShox Deluxe Ultimate. For wheels, the 8 and the 9.7 have Bontrager Line Comp aluminum wheels, but the 9.8, that comes with the Line 30 carbon. So with that increased price, you get a carbon wheel. And all the bikes come with Bontrager XR14 issue tires, 29 by 2.4. For dropper posts, the 8 and the 9.7, they come with the Trans X dropper. The length of your drop is dependent on your frame size, and the 9.8 has the Bontrager Line Elite dropper. Do I think that's a big upgrade? Probably not. I mean, Trans X dropper posts are what they do. They're kind of known as being a bargain brand, but they work, you know? So yeah, I'm okay with that post. When it does fail, eventually it might, I'll probably upgrade to something else. I really like the P&W dropper posts, but that's for another day. For brakes, the 8 and the 9.7 are supposed to be spec'd with Shimano Deore brakes, and the 9.8 Shimano XT. Now my bike, it did not come with Shimano brakes, surprisingly. With all the supply chain issues and everything, it was outfitted with some SRAM D8 brakes. Little bit of a surprise when I picked it up. I was like, wait a second, I'm supposed to have Shimano on these. That's one of the reasons I went with the Shimano build. But no, it came with SRAM D8s. Interesting enough though, SRAM is using mineral oil on these. I've gone out on one ride with them, they felt okay. I'm just not a big fan though of SRAM levers, they're really big. I've tried playing with the reach on this and they just don't really adjust a whole lot compared to Shimano's. I couldn't quite get them in as far as I would like without them feeling really mushy, like the lever was going to be hitting my knuckles if I really had to lay on the brakes. But the mineral oil thing I do like. DOT 5.1 fluid, which is in most of your SRAM brakes. It's really corrosive, you know, if you get it on your bike, it can eat your paint and everything. So I do appreciate the mineral oil. Let's see now, for shifting, this bike came with Shimano XT for your shifters and your rear derailleur. The 9.8, it's also the same, and also on the 8. They're all Shimano XT. Let's see now, for your cranks, the 8 and the 9.7 are running SLX, while the 9.8 has XT, and the cassette on the 8 and the 9.7 is also SLX, and on the 9.8, XT. So with that higher price build, you get an XT crank, XT cassette, XT chain versus SLX. And let's see, also the 8 and the 9.7 come with alloy aluminum bars, while the 9.8 comes with a carbon bar. And they also have internal frame storage, which is actually really cool. The 8 with an aluminum frame also has this, where you have your little integrated frame storage. You pop off where your bottle cage goes, and you got a little bag in here where you can store a tube, some CO2 cartridges. 29-inch tube does fit in there kind of tight. One thing too that Trek did, they re-engineered this slightly. We have this on our Domanis, and it had a little bit of play to it, a little bit of wiggle. But on this top feel, it is in there rock solid. I mean, it is nice. Their tolerances must have improved just a little bit. And also on the Domanis, there used to be a little thing here for a multi-tool you could keep in there. They got rid of that, which is awesome. Gives you a little bit more room inside the frame there for storage, because you can only use a Bontrager multi-tool. And I have my multi-tool here on my Lesign Flow storage cage. So I didn't really need that. It's just taking up space. But yeah, it locks in really well. One thing that I did like about this bike too is it comes with Fox. I already have tools for working on Fox. You know, my seal driver, the things you screw on the bottom for tapping out the lowers. So I kind of like that. You know, I'm familiar with Fox. My wife, she's actually really great at doing the wiper and seal service. So it's one of those things where it was just kind of nice staying with Fox. Another nice thing about this bike, I never had this feature before, but it has knock block, where your bars will only turn so far. Right now it's not much of an issue with the way everything is set up, but I do have a new bar for this bike that I'm planning to put on that's a little bit flatter. And if I adjust any of these spacers here and lower the stem some, I could easily run into issues of my brakes or shifters, handlebars hitting the frame. So this just keeps that from happening, keeps your bike a little bit better shape in the event of a crash, which, you know, we're mountain biking. It will happen. This bike has a claimed weight of 29.5 pounds. I threw it on my scale and I came in at 31.75, but that is with pedals and also with my cage on there with the multi-tool. So it could be, you know, a little bit extra there. I'll call it good at 29.5. Now for 2023, the 9.8, Trek did make some changes on that one, and that bike now retails for $7,149, and its claimed weight is only 1 pound lighter. That's quite a bit. I mean, yeah, you get carbon wheels, a carbon bar, and full XT, but for $2,500 more dollars than the 9.7 here, that's pretty tough. I mean, for $2,500, you can go to your local bike shop, go online, you can pick out a wheel set that you like. I mean, you could go and get some I9s, you could get yourself some DT Swiss wheels or something. I mean, you could really have a lot of playroom with that extra $2,000. And same thing for handlebars. I mean, you're not stuck with all Bontrager stuff. You can spec the bike out to what you really like. So is it worth it? I don't necessarily think so. Granted though, this is 2022 going into 2023. Supply chain issues are still a bit of an issue. So if you can get the 9.8 like today, maybe it is worth it, you know, instead of having to wait. Say it took me 10 months to get this bike from when I ordered it. But yeah, so there you go. Quick overview rundown on a Trek Top Fuel 9.7 2022-2023. Hope to get my bars changed out here soon, and probably put on a different saddle and go out and play with it some more. So anyways, thanks, and have a good one.